And she's the Jew. Okay, I'm gonna get out here for a story.
Story's good.
Yep.
Wanna take a look, Ben?
What's he doing with that bark? I'm just waiting for everybody to get here, then I'm gonna just have a quick story to tell you guys. So now you can see Fuchs, the yellow face about halfway up, and then to the right of it is the crevice with the boulders spilled out on the bottom, and there's a small white birch tree down there in the shadows at the base of the crevice. And you come around, and then you see a prominent gray face on the right, extreme right of the cliff. Now you can see a low angle gray face, and all the way out to the right there's like a nose profile, and there's a white pine tree sticking up there. You guys see that gray face? The name of that gray face is properly called Gray Face. Gray Face was first climbed, I think, in 1935. By the way, as I alluded to before, this is world-class rock climbing area of Skytop Lake Mohonk. And Gray Face is a moderate angle. It's pretty popular. The routes on Gray Face are fairly easy. I was doing a climb there with my climbing mentor, Eric. Eric worked at Mohonk for years and years. His daughter works here now in conference services. And Eric and I were up. I was up about 3/4 of the way up the cliff. And can you see at the top of Gray Face, there's one of these summer houses up there? Can you see it? So I'm about 3/4 of the way up the cliff, about 200 feet off the ground. I had virtually no protection in. I was tied to a rope, but I had no need to place any protection. I was just cruising along nice and easy. And some young men look over the cliff from the summer house and say, "Hey mister, what are you doing down there?" And I said, "Climbing?" "Oh yeah? Climb on this!" And one kid grabbed this log about this big and threw it down the cliff at me. And of course, the Sicilian in me got up. I was like, "Oh, you little such and such!" You know, I mean, that was pretty crazy. Could have killed me. And so I was yelling at him and praying for him to be there, those kids to be there when I got to the top, but they weren't. But they threw some other stuff down at us. And Eric, in his wisdom, said, "I'm going to tell your parents!" And they took off. So that was pretty crazy. And that wasn't the last time that people had thrown stuff at me while I was rock climbing, which is pretty, it's just, if people think that kids like that or somebody would do that is mean, you know, it's like, it's beyond mean. It's just somebody who's asleep, you know, I think, just doesn't realize the consequences of their action. So I learned a lot from that. And what I'm doing here with this piece of bark that I pulled off of, actually it was laying in the road, it peels off these red cedar fence posts. What I'm doing here is trying to buff it out, soften it up. Could you tell me your name again?
Ben.
Ben, that's right. How could I forget that? Ben, is that B-E-N, Ben? Ben. Ben. Gentle, like the bear. Gentle Ben. Spin it, just keep holding it. Alright. Just keep holding it, buddy, alright? If it gets hard to hold or anything, just tell me. It should still be okay, right? Alright. Just keep spinning it. What does this have to do with geology? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Although we could make a sling and fling a rock with it or something like that. Okay, keep holding it. I'm just going to grab it in the middle. And if I could take this end, I have it. And take it, just go like that. And it spins and it turns into a piece of cordage. Not the prettiest thing on the planet. But what did that take us? About a minute and it was done. Now this isn't really strong, and it's not that it's not strong because of anything we did, it's just red cedar isn't exactly the best material for making rope or cordage out of. Okay, pretty cool, huh? When you're done with that, you can pass it on or throw it away, okay? And we'll keep